Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's video is going to be all about period irregularity, how to deal with irregular periods, just me sharing my tips and like experience and just all about irregular periods, like what they are, what causes them, and also what you can do, you know? Before I start this video, I just wanted to say I hope everyone had a very happy holiday and good winter break and happy new year. How is it 2023 already? That's just insane to me. And I'm also gonna be 16 on January 28th, which is also kind of insane. But I'm really excited to film this video because I know how much of a struggle and problem period irregularity is. I just wanted to start off by saying that I am not a medical professional in any way, and that if you have actual medical concerns, then you should see your doctor or, you know, like a gynecologist or someone who's actually trained in this area. And I also just wanted to start off this video by saying that if your period is like really late or it's like irregular and you're thinking that it could be because you are pregnant, if that's possible, you know what I mean, then this isn't probably the video for you because this is about irregular periods that aren't related to that, you know? So definitely see your doctor if you just have any concerns outside of this video, okay? Anyway, now that I have said that, I'm going to get into first sharing my experience with irregular periods. Or actually, you know what? First, I have my computer right here for this video because I'm planning on looking up a lot of stuff and sharing it with you guys, just so I can tell you like what irregular periods are, because then you can know if you have them or something like that. Irregular periods are basically missed, delayed, or erratic. That means weird periods or abnormal bleeding patterns. So basically, the ideal perfect cycle for having your period would be every 28 days and each of your period lasts, I don't know, 5 days. And it's always like that. If it's outside of that, it might not be irregular, but if it's like it comes super late or it comes super early, or you don't always bleed the same amount, like if it's really heavy one period and then super light the next, if it lasts 2 days one time and then like 8 days the next, then that is probably an irregular period. Basically, if it's not like the same kind of like consistency every time. You have irregular periods if the length of your menstrual cycle, the gap between your period starting, keeps changing. And I actually did a whole video on tracking your period. I will link that right here. But basically, the first day of your cycle is the first day of your period, and then when you get your period again, that's the first day of the next cycle. So the average menstrual cycle lasts 28 days, but it is normal for it to be shorter or longer than this. Like for example, if you get your period every 35 days, that's regular for you. But if it takes 35 days for your next period to come, and then the next month it takes like 50 days, and then the next month it takes like 20 days, that's an irregular cycle. So my experience with this, I got my first period in November 2020 and I was 13, and I got my first 2 periods and it was around a month apart, and then I didn't get my period again for like 4 to 5 months around that, because then I didn't get my period again until like March, April of 2021. And I was really freaking out. I made my mom take me to the doctor. I was really scared, but basically I learned that in the beginning it is so normal for periods to be irregular as your body gets used to having a period. So that's my experience, and since then it's been irregular. Like then it was irregular at the end of 2021 after it was kind of regular over the summer, and then 2022 is when my periods really started to get regular. So your body might not follow the pattern that my body did, but it took me around a year and a half for my periods to get regular after I got my first period. So it's so normal, and I feel like everyone, you know, just expects their cycles to be completely regular from the start, but that's not the case at all. And I get so many comments every day saying my periods are irregular or it takes a few months to come and you're really worried. But have no fear, I'm going to go into what the possible causes of that may be and just give you more information on irregular periods. So one of the most typical, I guess I would say, causes of irregular periods is just the beginning of having a period. This is such a huge thing that is so normal most of the time. After puberty, many women have a regular menstrual cycle, but it is normal for the cycle to vary by a few days each time. Between 9 and 14% of women have irregular periods between their first period and menopause. So irregular periods are normal, and it depends on like how regular they are and like just what's going on like with you if it's like not normal, but a lot of the time it's pretty normal. And especially in the first 2 years after you get your first period. So let's say you get your first period this year in 2023. Your periods might not get regular till 2025 or even 2027. Sometimes it takes like up to 5 years for your periods to get regular, and I know how annoying it is. It is so annoying to constantly not know when your period is going to come and surprise you, because you know you have to like go out and stuff like that. You have to do stuff with your life. You can't just sit at home and wait for your period to show up, which is why at the end of this video I'm going to be giving you my tips for managing irregular periods. But I found this little paragraph thing that I'm going to insert on the screen from Teens Health or like Kids Health or whatever, and I really love this because it really just does sum up like how normal it is in the beginning. And I'll also link this article down below for you guys. Basically, it's normal as long as it's not too extreme. I'll give you a quick list of what's not normal. If you are soaking a pad that's meant to hold a lot of blood in an hour or 2 hours, or even like up to 3 hours if it's like a really good pad, and you keep soaking pads like this, if your period's lasting over 9-10 days, I would say, and like it keeps doing doing this, or like then it starts to only last one day and it's just weird spotting, maybe see your doctor. If you're getting your period every like 2 weeks or like 3 weeks, that's probably not normal. I've been a little concerned lately because my periods have been coming like every 19 days for the last couple times, so I might need to go see my doctor about that. If you're getting like bleeding between your period, I mean, it could be ovulation bleeding, which is basically when you ovulate. It's like when the egg releases, which makes the blood build up, and you can like get bleeding from that, but it shouldn't be real like a lot of bleeding. And also if you're feeling severe pain on your period, between your period, basically if something doesn't feel normal to you, if it doesn't feel like just normal, oh my period's regular because it's in the beginning, I would see your doctor about that. But basically some causes of what it could also be, other than just the beginning of having a period, that could be influencing it, is your diet. First of all, if you're eating too little, like you're really not eating a lot, that's not good, and that can make your periods irregular. But at the same time, if you're eating too much and you're not eating like a healthy balanced diet, then that could also be affecting your periods. If you don't exercise enough, that might not give your body enough movement to like, you know, have a period. Or if you're exercising way too much, like for example, my periods are usually very light and kind of irregular during tennis season for me because I'm exercising a lot more. So if you're exercising a lot, that can also really affect your period. If you were recently sick, like I've heard COVID can kind of mess up your period, or just any cold or something like that, being sick can mess it up. If you're under extreme stress, you know, like with school, like if I'm really stressed about school or just a lot is going on in my life, I've noticed my period gets a bit irregular. So if you're really stressed about something emotionally, you're going through a lot of stress, that could also be making your period irregular. Oh, also if you've recently traveled, or like you've come home from traveling, going on a plane can mess up your period, or even just changing time zones because it interferes with ovulation, which is necessary to get your period. And most of my viewers are on the younger side, but if your periods are irregular and you're an older adult, then that can mean you're going into menopause, which means you're about to stop getting your period. Also, certain medications can make your period irregular. You'll have to talk to your doctor about that. And also, if you are very underweight or very overweight, like extremes in weight, that can also affect your period. And also certain medical conditions can make your period irregular. So if you want like a whole evaluation, then go see your doctor if you think it might be something like that. So basically that is all about irregular periods. They kind of really suck because personally for me, I'm so glad my periods have recently gotten regular, but it was very stressful in the beginning when I had no idea when my period was gonna show up. And especially like if it comes, you know, when you're on vacation or at school and you weren't expecting it. So it's really hard to deal with them, even though they might be normal or due to something else going on in your life. Just have faith that they will eventually, you know, even out, get more regular. But the thing is, I have some tips as someone who dealt with irregular periods for a while before my periods got regular. And this is what has helped me, and also just what I think could help you guys if you're having irregular periods. So here are my 8 tips on what you can do to manage irregular periods and just deal with them. My first tip is the hugest one that you should do if you have irregular periods, and that is to track everything. And I mean track everything. Get a calendar, get Flow or get Clue or get a period tracker app, or on a piece of paper, track everything to do with your body. Track your discharge, track how your chest feels or how your mood is feeling, or if you're having any cravings, or your skin, like your acne. Track how tired you are and on what day, because eventually you will start to see patterns in your body that show that your period is coming. Like for example, when I start crying all the time for no reason, or when my chest gets very sore, I know my period's about to come. Or like, you know, cramps or something like that. Track those symptoms, because even if you think your period is irregular, sometimes you just need to get more in tune with your body and what signs your body is giving you that your period's about to come. And this is so when you're having irregular periods, you can really try to see when it's going to come more. And also track the consistency of the blood and how heavy it is on certain days, and you can start to notice patterns, which is my next tip. My second tip is to look for patterns. Let's say that you are always craving cheeseburgers before your period. Like you write down on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that you're really in the mood for McDonald's, and then on Monday you get your period. Then you'll start to see, okay, so when I start craving cheeseburgers, I'm getting my period. And that's just a stupid example. But if you have cramps at a certain time, or if you notice that the 3rd day of your period is very heavy and not the 2nd day, just really try to like look for these patterns, because it really will help you get more of a sense of like what your body is doing as it tries to figure out having a period. My 3rd tip has to do with sleeping, because usually when you have regular periods, at least for me, sometimes I'll just wake up with it and it wasn't supposed to come, but then I like feel it and it's like, wow, I just ruined my nice white underwear. So I would recommend, while you're going through the phase of having irregular periods, to wear dark underwear to sleep and dark pajama bottoms to sleep, because trust me, okay, you'll thank me later. My 4th tip is to always have pads with you. And I know this is so self-explanatory, but when you have irregular periods, you never know when it's gonna show up. So always be prepared. Always have pads with you no matter where you're going. If you're going to the beach, put them in your swim bag. bag or whatever. Same with if you're going to the pool. If you're at school, have them in your backpack and your locker. If you're at home, have them in your bathroom, in your room. If you're going out with friends, have them in your purse. Have them with you at all times because you never know when it's going to show up, because irregular periods are so annoying. My next tip is so much easier said than done, but it is to try to calm down any stress that you might have, because extreme stress really can put off a period. I've lived through it. My first semester of high school I spent online, and it was a huge just adjustment for me, and I was just, you know, going through a lot at that time, and I was also, you know, exercising a lot, whatever, but I was very stressed, and my period, I didn't have a real period for like 5 months or however long the semester lasted. So just really try to calm down any stress you might be having. I mean, sometimes you can't really do that if it's something to do with, you know, your family or something is really like going on with you, but some tips I have, like if you just really are like built up with a lot of stress, try journaling at the end of the day and really writing down everything that you're feeling, you know, like getting it all out like a brain dump. Try talking to someone about your stress. Really prioritize time for yourself, like, you know, take a nice warm shower at the end of the day or a nice bath and do stuff that you love. And you know, you can try meditation, breathing exercises. Sometimes going for a nice walk and getting some fresh air can really help clear your head. And this also relates to like, don't stress about irregular periods, because that might put off your period even more if you're constantly stressed about it. My next tip is to eat a balanced diet, and this is not me saying
only eat salads and protein and don't eat carbs at all.
I really want to do what I eat in a week, because I quite literally eat like 10 pounds of chocolate a day. But basically what I mean by eating a balanced diet is eating healthy and also giving yourself room for junk food, you know? Just everything in balance, because sometimes eating habits can get in the way of like your period. My next tip is to check in with your exercise level, because as I've said, if you're exercising a lot, that could be why your period has been put off. As long as you're not overworking yourself. I mean, if you're a very active person, then you just might have lighter, more regular periods. But just check in with your exercise level, see if you're overworking yourself and doing too much. Also see if you're not doing enough, and maybe you should like, you know, get up more, and that could help you with your period. And my last tip is to see your doctor if you still have questions or concerns, because honestly, when I went to like the doctor about this for the first time, it was so relieving. They can really help you, probably a lot more than I can, obviously, because I'm not a doctor, but they can really help. If they do think that something's wrong, they can do certain tests and stuff like that. They can see if it's a medical condition causing it, because you can only do so much. So seeking help from other people like your doctor, or talking to, you know, your mom about it, or a trusted friend or a sister, or like your aunt or something like that. Do stuff like that, you know, anyone you trust in your life, and maybe ask them about seeing a doctor, and go to your doctor if you are concerned about it, because most of the time everything will be fine, and it's just irregular periods because you're just getting used to having a period and your body's adjusting. But sometimes, you know, something could be wrong and it could be fixed. So go to the doctor if you do think that something could be fixed or something's wrong or something like that. Guys, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I really hope that this video helped you out, because trust me, I know how many people struggle with irregular periods and how much it can disrupt your life and also kind of make you just scared about it and worried. So I really hope that this video was helpful in like showing you what could be happening and also assuring you that irregular periods are a lot of the time normal. Comment your experience with irregular periods or your specific problem, and I will try to answer it the best I can. So if you don't feel comfortable talking to anybody else about it, you can always come to me first in the comments down below, but of course see your doctor over me for like medical advice. And yeah, I just wanted to also let you know you're not alone with having irregular periods at all. It is such a common normal thing that so many people struggle with. So if you feel like you're the only one of, I guess, your friends who has an irregular period, you're not the only person in the world who has regular periods, of course. And so yeah, before you leave, please like this video, and if you made it to the end of this video, comment down below the struggle of having irregular periods, because it is literally such a struggle. And also please subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I do so many videos like this, like period videos, and just videos about, you know, like what we go through as like teenagers and stuff like that, but especially period videos. I have a huge period playlist on my channel. I do tons of period vlogs as well. So if you do have more questions, you're more interested in learning more about periods, then definitely feel free to subscribe and check out those videos, and I will link some down below that I think you might like. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching it, and I love you guys. Bye!